After 16 years in prison, Donovan Moodley is expected to make representations today before the prison's parole board. In 2005, he was sentenced to life in prison for murdering fellow Bond University student Leigh Matthews. The Matthews family are in shock about their daughter's killer's parole application. Riante Padiachi joins us now to discuss this. Riante, a good afternoon to you. What have you got?
Now, Lady, it's been such an emotionally charged day. We are actually in Meredale in Johannesburg, and this is the correctional services facility that we're standing in front of. We weren't allowed in because parole hearings or proceedings are closed off to all members of the public, and obviously that includes the media. Now, this is something that the family were quite upset about, and they say that this entire parole process has lacked transparency, so they've criticized it for that. They just don't have closure. It's been almost 20 years since their precious daughter was taken from them, and they say that they're only going to get closure if Donovan Moodley is truthful about what actually happened to her. He demanded ransom in 2004 after he'd kidnapped her. Her dad, Rob, had paid the 50,000 in ransom, yet he still brutally murdered her. And, you know, knowing the truth is what's going to give them closure. But the family are also supported by civil society groups, one of them being Women and Men Against Child Abuse. And I'm actually going to bring in one of their representatives. Ngaa, tell us, why have you decided to support the family, and what is it that you guys expect out of this parole proceeding that's happening today?
Hi, yes. So like you have alluded to, we are here because of the secrecy and the lack of transparency in the parole process. And we're basically calling for legislative reform. If the trial can be an open process that the public has access to, the parole system should also be the same. We want legislation and the interests of civil society to be considered when the eligibility of an inmate for parole is underway.
Okay, and I understand from correctional services that if if the family are not happy with the outcome, you can challenge this. Is this something, Women and Men Against Child Abuse would consider should Donovan Moodley be granted parole?
Absolutely, 100%. And we know already how difficult it is to challenge even at a stage of conviction, and we want a trial to be underway. So we don't have the confidence to say that if he is granted parole, the family can go and they can challenge that. And we need for society to feel like they are safe and we don't have to go and challenge.
Absolutely. Now, Lady, just to recap for you, all those years ago, Donovan Moodley was sentenced to life in prison. He then got an additional 10 years and 15 years for kidnapping and extortion. He initially pleaded guilty to all of it, but at a later stage came back saying that, he pleaded under duress and that he wanted a retrial, but obviously that did not work in his favor.
Well, Riante, thank you so much for taking us to that story. Certainly one that captured South Africans for a very long time. That's Riante Padiachi speaking to us there.